woman, classy, beautiful woman, mighty woman, classy, beautiful woman, mighty woman, classy, beautiful woman, mighty woman, classy, beautiful. Good morning. What's going on, Facebook fam? It's your girl, Neo Soul recording artist Lahla-Hadiya, back again on a Thursday for another segment of Morning Tea with Mommy. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are awake, ready to get this day started. We in the home stretch, man. We in the home stretch. Some of us, this is our Friday. Congratulations to you. I won't throw shade for others who have to continue on until Friday. Hang in there. We almost there. Let me see those thumbs ups, those hearts, those happy faces. Let me know you guys are with us and you're excited. I'm excited. Let me go ahead and bring my co-host on. My mama, none other than this beautiful queen, 70-year-old Mama Lou. Let me see if she in the building. Well, hello. You, you just answered like a PBS TV show.
To roll.
You answered like a PBS after school special. I want you to do all that again because see, let me
You had
explain
me
something
on
to you
mute.
guys. Let me explain something to you guys. So there's a thing that I have to do, right? And so in order to make sure that when she comes in the great room, she don't come in talking, I mute that part of the program, right? While she's in the green room because, in the green room, you're not supposed to know what's going on in the green room. And sometimes when she comes on, I'm so excited to see her. I forget to press mute again so that y'all can hear her. But if you saw her, she looked like she was about to do the intro for a PBS after school special. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Anyway, you can say good morning again. They want to hear from you.
May I cough now? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. How about you? I am certainly hoping that everybody had a wonderful, restful, relaxing, good night's sleep. I did. We're ready for morning tea with mommy. I hope everybody's ready.
Part two is a
Take two.
spiritual war. It's this, I know, right? All the glitches we had. It's a spiritual. Hey, Carmen, Carmen, I'm gonna need you to stick around. This is up right up your alley. Um, this is an
Is it?
awesome young lady that we introduced yesterday. So I'm not even gonna prolong it. We just gonna bring her on and just jump right in it. You guys met her yesterday. She is the author of Your Deliverance is Coming. She's a dynamic warrior and soldier of God. Like the girl is like on fire, and in her own way, in a way where people can relate and understand to her, which is so awesome. A lot of times, we spend so much time trying to make sure that our outer appearance looks the part and instead of just being authentic. And so that's definitely what she is. She is authentic. And it also helps that I'm gonna say this quick story that I'm gonna bring her on, right? So I'm not really a female person because of just past trauma. But anyway, so I begin to ask God, like I want friends, like God, I want friends, like I want real friends. And so I said, but I need you to be strategic about choosing them so that I understand who's friend and who's foe and who's an acquaintance. And so I need you to make sure that I know that it's you that's sending them. And he was like, okay. And so the ones that are like really close to me, he said that to me. He was like, okay. So the ones that are really close to me, as I begin to like look at them, I'm like, oh my God, you have my face. And so God is real funny. Let me tell you. he's not all just serious and everything. He about his business, but like we his kids, and sometimes he throw a little joke in there every now and again. And so he definitely did that with all of the women that I call like my sisters. Because I promise you I did not pre-record myself, and I'm bringing me on. This is a real person. She's live. But none other than author, I want to call you philanthropist, all of that, but just a warrior and fighter for our babies, for our children, Miss Lakisha Davis Small. Welcome back to Morning Tea with Mommy. What's going on, Face?
Good morning, good morning, good
Good
morning.
morning, everyone. I'm back in the tent, so please excuse me if you hear a little extra background. I
She's in
want to be
nature.
with, I want to be one with nature. It is helpful. So, we can pick right back up from where we started, or live. You want to ask me,
It's on you. It's on you,
something in
boo.
particular? That's fine with me. But we can go however you want to.
Look, I feel like I'm talking to me. It's like myself on either side of my mama. So, look, my mother's like, oh gosh, there's two of them right now. I promise you, we're gonna give her room to talk because she always talking about I don't let her talk, and so now it's two of me up here, and she's like, oh, I'm not even gonna get a word. I'm gonna just write it down and hold the papers up. Well, we were talking about for the last couple of days the fact that we are their covering, and they who are they are our babies, our seeds, our children. In a season where we have begun to, some of us rather, have begun to get so distracted with this whole political thing, with the presidency, the campaign, the election. Um, it's so easy for us to take our focus or shift our focus away from what's important, which is, we used to call them our future, but now that's null and void
Mm,
now. And now they're our right now. And so it's so easy for us to shift our attention rather than um, back up
mm,
so that we can get a wider view. Sometimes we shift our attention, and that's when the enemy is easy for him to jump in and do what he does. Instead of backing up a little bit, or adjusting your lens so that you can get a wider view, so that you can focus on all the things that are necessary. And it's going to take some work. I told y'all a long time ago, this thing isn't easy. This thing called life, following your path and your purpose, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work. And so I wanted to refocus. She is really in nature. I wanted, Carmen, is that you driving through her neighborhood with that truck? Um, I want to take some time to refocus on one of the things that is very important, in our walk, and that is our babies. That is our seeds. Those that are um, stronger in certain aspects, ready to stay on the ready. And I said something yesterday in regards to our children, like they're now more bolder and ready to fight, even more so than I was in my generation, and even more so than my mom was in her generation, where they had segregation and they were marching for freedom. And so, as you see now, like they're not afraid. They're not afraid of anybody, and that
right.
could be a blessing or it could be a curse. And so, it is our charge, and it is important for us to make sure that we are cultivating them, nourishing, giving them the proper nourishment, the proper minerals in the water that we water them with, those minerals, that village that we allow around them. It is important for us to make sure that it is it's nutritious for them,
Mm,
um, because they already have the boldness and they already have the fight. God needs them to fight on the right team.
mm,
And he has given us a charge to make sure that that happens, whether you birth one physically or whether he has strategically placed you in position to encounter one of his babies, one of his little angels. So that's where we are today, picking back up. We spoke with Keisha in regards to her life and her journey. We got a little bit of what her journey was about, in battling with uh, child molestation, child sexual abuse, and from that story, we actually touched a little bit on the black man and how there are black men out there who get down and dirty to make sure that their children are taken care of. There are single fathers out there, not just single mothers. There are single fathers out there, and not just because the other parent has passed on, but there are the same things that women go through when they're like the father is absent. There are situations where the dad has to pick up the slack because the mom is absent, and so it gives a different perspective on how we view things and how we see things. So I'm gonna turn it over to you and Ma, and I'm gonna get my notepad out and I'm gonna start taking notes.
Well, you know how I am with children, and anytime you hurt my babies, you hurt me. Um, when I was actively in the system, public school system, I had a number of students who came to me with issues, and some who did not, but they sat in my classes or came to my office, and they, were hesitant to talk. But once children know that it's a safe zone and you're there for them, they start to open up gradually. And this was the thing that really touched my heart. Those students who opened up and they shared situations where they had been abused and misused, and however, whether it was a physical abuse, mental abuse. Yes, there is mental abuse. Um, that's where Satan starts his attack, is in our mind. We talked about that. So hearing Keisha's story really, 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 really uh, went gut level for me. So, I am really, I'd like to ask first off, at what point, if you are aware of the point in which you felt comfortable in surfacing in coming out with your story in terms of what had happened to you?
Okay.
Are you,
A
yeah.
good question. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
No, no, that was it.
That was an excellent question. I feel like in life we don't ask enough questions, and that's why we are surprised or fooled or feel bamboozled by people unless they just downright lie. But
Mm,
I would like to say when my assault happened at 5 years old, I advocated for myself. I told. It was a male cousin. He was babysitting, and his sisters went out. He were, with his older sisters were left to actually watch me, but they wanted to go out to the club and do whatever. So they left me and other children, my cousins, who were in the same apartment. We were on Park Road, Northwest DC. And, so I was there for the summer. I wasn't there to live. That wasn't my home. I was over there because that's family. So my dad worked a lot. So he trusted his nieces and their brother to care for me as the other children. It was probably about five of us because his sisters were in their early 20s and they already had children. So, you know, when it happened, when they came home from the club, I was like, he touched me. No, not he touched me. Let's make sure we are clear on the word molestation and the word rape. It's two different. I mean, it's the same sexual violence, but two different definitions. Molestation is when someone fondles you, touch you inappropriately. For those of you who need to have that conversation with your children, inappropriate touching is molestation. Okay, oral sex, any of that is molestation. Rape is when someone inserts or a woman actually has sex with a boy or someone unwillingly with their physical body. That's intercourse. That is rape. I was raped and sodomized. And sodomy is what men go through, and some in jail, some out here, somebody on uncle's father's, but sodomy is rectal rape. So I want to educate people, not play with words and, oh, I don't want to say this and that. No, 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 no. We don't really have time for that right now because people are really getting raped and molested and they don't even know how to comprehend, or they don't even feel safe. They don't feel safe enough, and they don't feel the that they can trust. So they'll keep that in and grow up and be adults and tear this world up and look real pretty doing it, or real handsome and smooth doing it, or tear somebody's life up because their life was never dealt with. So I had to, and I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I had to advocate for myself in the beginning and speak up. Now, what did the parents do or the adults do with the information? Here we go. Instead of saying, you know what, that was wrong what he did. He left out the door. They went and gave me a bath. They did all this, cover up their sins or what had happened. They kept it from my father. I don't know how, but he used to work at the fruit stand by the Ibex on Georgia Avenue. And my dad would joke all the time and say, them Jews don't trust nobody but their money, but with their money, but me. So he was like very loyal. And I was like, Daddy, you something else. But he ended up being a vendor and a hustler, for the rest of his life, meaning hustling merchandise like earrings, stockings, Jesus pins, hats. And he wore a book bag and he said, Lakisha, you know why I never got a stand? He had a vendor's license, like a legit one. He said, you know why I never got a stand? And he knew people that had stands downtown and stuff like that. He said, Lakisha, I never wait for money to come to me. I go get it. So he has his stuff and he'll have me out in the street. Excuse me, my dad said, would you like to smell these body oils? I was marketing. How you gonna tell this cute little girl no? He'll come home, he throw the money on the bed. Count this, Lakisha. What you want to eat? Wow, Daddy. I want a jumbo cheeseburger special, some French fries from Dave's Curry Out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, whoa. So my dad, what kids need, and he wasn't perfect, so don't get me wrong, but he never hurt me or touched me. He had to deal with my sexual abuse the best way he could, but I just want to get back to what kids need in this time doing what all is going on and how fearless they are. Kids need love. They need your time. They need your attention, and they need to be able to trust you. That's the answer to the test. If you fail, I've told you. I have a 13-year-old. I have a 3-year-old. Now, I guess God just want to keep me sharp because I feel like I'm too old for this. I'm 41 chasing this little boy around. And he will run. Like, literally, I have to catch him. So, um, children, again, take your notes. They need love, time, attention, and trust.
And you touched on a biggie for me, and that's the big A, and that's attention. So many children come to school when they were going to the in-house school with so many issues, and that was one of the things I had to get over to my new teachers whom I was mentoring and training. That you know before you can get a child to learn, you've got to really get into their world, get into their head, know how, what they're thinking, how they're thinking, and that, so on and so forth. But the other thing is, children come with so much baggage, as do adults, as do the teachers. So but it's really important as a parent to stay tuned in, would you say, to our children, giving them that attention. Don't assume, and we can break that word down. We know what that means. Assume. Don't assume that your children are okay because they are silent, because they're not saying anything. Get into their heads, get into their minds, talk to them. And I'm thinking as you were sharing your dad, and you described him as, as a hustler and hey, and it sounds like he was a good hustler in terms of making ends meet for his child, and at the same time staying tuned in. But I'm curious and I'm wondering, um, after this incident occurred with your relative, with your cousin, what was the uh, what was the uh, how did your other relatives, his parent or the people around him, how did they respond to you sharing what had happened, which obviously was not a good thing?
So interesting. My um during serious situations, conversation, it allows feel the level of pain that my brain really actually feels. So if my pain is at 25 and I laugh and smile and joke at a serious situation, which is sexual abuse, no offense at all, I'm protecting myself because I don't cry for me anymore. I cry for those who I know is being abused and their family is hiding it. So that's exactly what happened. That's exactly how my family members responded until now. Get ready for this. And I want to be candid with you, or we grown.
Before
So,
you go on, I think you broke out a little bit, so we didn't hear what you said in regards to how they responded. You
okay.
disappeared.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay, so they responded with a cover up. They
Okay.
responded with, they smacked Michael. His name was Michael. He's dead now. They
Mm,
smacked him in his face and he left. So they responded with anger, but they knew he did something before I got out of the bathroom because the Holy Spirit told me to protect myself. I'm going to tell you that. After he raped me, the Holy Spirit, I was 5. I'm learning crayons and colors. So my 5-year-old brain didn't know what to do. This happened in a bedroom with other kids in bunk beds, but he singled me out and put me in a single bed. You know what I'm saying? So after the attack, and again, it was a gruesome scene, like a scary movie, so blood is everywhere. So my brain, I didn't know what to do. I'm a kid. But I met God that day because I felt something say, go in the bathroom and lock the door. And I went in there and locked the door until my cousins came home. I stayed in there. And at one point, I thought I heard them coming in, like 2 in the morning. Like it was, matter of fact, I think I shared with you, we were watching Friday night videos with Sheila E. That's why I want to meet her and connect with her and talk to her because she was sexually abused too. And her drumming and her instruments, it helps her deal with her PTSD, her traumas. So it so happened I was watching Friday night videos with Sheila E. And in the book, I say the clock struck 12, my life changed for the rest of my life. So it was deep hours in the morning when the devil play, between, the 2, 3, 4 o'clock hour. Like, he definitely was wrestling with me. And I locked myself in the bathroom and I opened the door. I thought my cousins were coming in. So I opened it to look. I just stuck my head out and he had a butcher knife in his hand. I said, I shut the door. I locked it. I'm like, wow, like that's so mean. Like I'm rocked in pain. I'm hurting. I'm a baby. And I look at you got a knife too. Like you gonna cut me too? Like my brain again. Holy Spirit, lock the door. I locked the door. I did not go back to that door. I wouldn't have cared if he banged. He would have had to kick that door in. He wouldn't have been able to say, "Come, you open this door." Now, no, no. Like God gave me enough sense. He still does. It's just what I do with it.
in an effort to protect
It's up to
yourself,
me
you lock.
to apply.
So in just listening to that part right there, my question is because we're talking about safeguarding our children and learning how to read certain signs, flags, symbols, um, symbols of distress. And so, as parents, and as a mother who has survived, because you're definitely still here, what are some of the red flags for you when you're dealing with your own children?
Hmm. So when you when you say red flags, like what I feel that you have to look out for is if
Yeah.
a child does not, I repeat, does not want to hug a person, go near the person, you can say all you want. Oh, you acting funny. Don't act like that. That's because it's so and so. That's Uncle so and so. If every single time that person come around and that child is resistant, I'm not saying that the person may have touched at all. I wouldn't be accusatory, but I would say that's your feeling, an instinct. Children have instincts too. Like animals, they might be a pervert. They might have looked at their butt and looked at their private print or looked at them and they're adult. Heck no, you don't make them hug them. No. No, my daughter, like, Randy has
It's
confirmed
crazy that you
anyway,
say
but
that. It's crazy
I
that you
wouldn't.
say that because even with me, with the children, everybody loves the Castro children, and as a parent, as mama bear, I don't make my children go and hug everybody. In fact, I tell them if you get a hug, then it's something about your spirit because they don't. And I remember when Layla would literally put her hands behind her back and she would just look at people, and then there would be people that she would just step off from and come to me and hold my thigh when she was smaller. And
Wow.
I've noticed and I've seen and witnessed parents say, "Go say hi, go say hi." I'm not that parent. That parent is not me. If my child does not speak, my spiritual sense is heightened, and not because I think that they've done something to my child. Rather, there's something about your spirit that is unsettling because I do believe that elders and little people, and I don't mean people McNuggets, I mean little kids. I mean they are the closest. That connection is just like on point because one is on their way and one is just came from. And so I do listen to that. I do listen to their reactions, their nonverbal responses. Even my 9-year old, who is nonverbal, who's autistic, like she has taught me so much and has confirmed for me some of the things that I thought in my head and utilized as a parent growing up with my children and them not wanting to go to somebody or feeling more comfortable standing next to me saying hi rather than me saying go give my hug. Like she has taught me a whole lot because she's very aggressive in her, they're not getting that hug from me. No, I feel more comfortable standing right here with you. And there are times where she'll even turn her head to kind of block out the connection. And I listen to that. I listen to that. And a lot of times parents, and I won't say it's a vain thing, but it's just almost like a natural instinct for you to say, speak as you're teaching manners and all of that good stuff. And so without careful thought, you're pushing your child to do something that they may be rightfully uncomfortable doing. And we are their protectors. So it is important for us to always stay vigilant, meaning if you got to adjust that lens because you can't see the whole view, you need to adjust that lens so that you can see the wider view, the bigger picture, and begin to uncover why is this happening. A lot of us don't do that. And so I'm listening to you and just thinking about the question that I asked you as far as the red flags, like being more attentive. and not just taking the little things for granted, because it's not always about molestation or somebody having ill thoughts about your child. It could be this connection is just supposed to be a hello and goodbye.
That's right.
Adults have had a lot of interactions that have stuck because of our doing, because we didn't want the person to keep walking, or we didn't want to listen to God say, keep walking. And we have entered in relationships, platonic and romantic, um, a girlfriend relationship, like that's my homegirl, a homeboy relationship, like that's my homeboy. We've entered into relationships like that where God didn't mean for it to be. And children have a way of seeing and feeling things that we take for granted. And so that's why I listen to my babies, because it's more like a, all right, God, what are you protecting me from? What are you protecting me from? I don't automatically think that they're going to hurt my child, but what are you protecting me from that can ultimately have an effect and affect on my child? Because if I connect with this person and build a relationship, how can that have a negative impact on what you have brought me to be a protector of? So that's why I asked that question, because I just needed to know for myself and confirm for myself. And
Right.
then for everybody listening, um, I wanna I wanna read two comments and then pass it back to you all. One comment says, my second born son used to cry when he first went to daycare. The first day I figured was separation anxiety. 2 days later, with him crying every day, I removed him from the center. He couldn't verbalize his feelings. So I never really knew what the problem was. I just knew I had to get my baby out of there. Yeah, I got a story for that too. And I was in my gangster days, so I had to kindly tell the person, before this turns into something evil, let me do us both a favor and remove my child so that we can remain acquaintances. Because if I find out something is happening, this will change and turn very, very ugly and evil. And so I get you on that one. Another comment, this has been a problem for centuries. My mom didn't allow us to be around anybody, period. No hugs, no lap sitting, nothing. I'm the same way with my girls. Nope, exactly. Like, and we have to be protective. And I asked yesterday, is there a such thing as being overprotective in this day and time? Back then, we used to be like, dang, mom, like it's just a mall. Now people getting shot up in the mall. It's beyond walking behind the mall where the bush is and having to worry about somebody snatching you. People are walking in the mall and shooting up the mall. So is that a thing? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pose that question again today, because overprotective mom is me. That's me. That's me. And I'm asking God to guide it in the way that He wants it to go, because I'm absolutely overprotected, because I only get one shot with six babies. I only get one shot with each one of them, and I'm not willing to give up one to be like, I failed on that one, let me try this one. No, that's not how it works. There's six different bodies, six different lights to shine, six different purposes that God has placed in my care, right? So I only get one shot. And so being overprotective, that's me. So, like, is that a thing? Is there such thing? And I don't think you answered that question, mommy. So I want to ask you that. Is there a such thing as being overprotective in the season that we're in right now?
I think you can answer that question better than I, in terms of, because I've been accused.
I was just trying to give her
Even
a chance, but yes.
at 70 years old, I have been accused, outwardly accused, of being overprotective of not only my children, my grown and gone children, but my grandchildren. My response is, live long enough. That was a response back in the day my mom gave me, and a lot of older uh, people would give us, just live long enough. And the idea is, you know, with age, with maturity, you learn some things, or you discover some things that you may have taken for granted, or you just laughed off or pushed aside. But as you get older and more mature, you you start to realize what the elders have said to you. For example, like my grown and gone children, which would be Lahla-Hadiya, the infamous recording artist, and her
Like,
brother.
come on, man. I
I
got a
tell
whole
them, I don't
family.
care if you get 100 years old, you are still. I still have my womb experience with you. Y'all don't know what that is. Womb experience when you were in my belly, you know. And as God told, when you were yet in my belly, He knew us. He knew what we would come. He knew what our potential was and is. So with your grown children, with as your children mature and get older, yes, you untie the apron strings, but it does not release the heartstrings, you know, because you still have those feelings. You still have that desire to protect them. I have backed up, but yes, it comes out. It comes out. I've backed up, but my eyes are still, 360 degrees. Yes. So that overprotectiveness, you try to, kind of calm it down, bring it down a little bit, bring it down, but your eyes are still open, your radar is still up, your our antenna is still up, because you always have that motherly womb experience of wanting to protect your birthrights. It's always there. But you do, of course, when you marry,
And
you
have a hard time.
certainly, they're on their own. But for all the guys out there, all the husbands and the whomever else's,
The husband. Okay, that's a
your those, if there is a mother still alive and heart beating, the beads that your eyes are still beating out any and everything that would come against your children, your child. You know, I really do, honestly, in all seriousness. There have been times when I'm, Mom, aren't you going to say something? But there's a time and a space where you can, talk with your children. And in my case, I'll talk with my daughter and her husband. I'll do it sometimes together, and sometimes I'll do it separately. But in my famous words, I would be remiss if I did not share this with you. And I try to stay away from, you know, we should stay away from attacking a person, even if they're dead wrong, but you give the I messages, and I always give an example using myself, you know. But as far as our children, um, that motherly instinct is always there. Yes. So don't come gunning for my children, my baby.
she's squinting her eye, y'all.
If we ever if we ever get back to the point of having
Wait, her
concerts,
eye, y'all, she already know. Ain't she got to worry about me? I throw them hands and praise the Lord at the same time. So I want to ask you this, Keisha. How important? Well, I want to ask both of you, but and the audience, how important is it that we maintain open communication with our children on a daily basis?
Okay, so it's very important, and I make sure I do that. I even have to have individual time with my 3 year old and my 13 year old. Then I bring them together. We'll paint together. We'll watch a movie together. But I have a specific time that we do this, so that I can be consistent. Because consistency is definitely something too that children really just need you to be consistent. And when it's out of order, they're out of order. So to consistently, do something to give them that attention that they need.
Absolutely.
And I feel like, okay, God, like, check, I did my part. Like, sometimes it feels like a chore. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes because my energy, I'm tired. I have my own things I'm dealing with. And then, like, I'm not that I can save the world, but I am a disciple. So I'm doing God's work. So sometimes I have to purge. And Just like your daughter, water, it solidifies my gift. It's like spinach for Popeye. So, and worship. So I have to, always just check the box every day just to say I did it. Okay, I did it. And every day is not hard for me, but some days I will fool you to say, "Oh my God, goodness, I'm, always energetic every day." no, no. So, so I still check the box and I still smile and everything. And I love the smile you all. It's not fake. Someone said,
Yes, she does. She laugh and smile
I
all the
think you
time.
smile all the time to cover up your pain and stuff. And I was like, well, yeah, my therapist did say that I do what Janet Jackson does, and she does it too. But guess what? With that, accompanied with it, I love to smile. It does something for my soul. So it doesn't matter. Like, I could walk into a room, a whole bunch of angry people, and I work for an agency where I've been in events where I was the only black person in the room. And I'm smiling. They're like, this, what the? And test me if you want and see if God don't have glory and He made me authentic. Because I don't change my smile for nobody, baby. You can look wonderful.
Hallelujah.
You can look how you want to look. Hey,
You speak, girl.
that's your prerogative.
You
Hey,
speak. I'm
do
feeling you.
what you want to do
Mm.
because I'm not going to because my thing is my name is Smiley in the poetry realm and people know me as Queen Smiley. I guess not Queen because I was a Princess Smiley. My dad was King Smiley. He smiled through all his adversity, and so do I. And so do I. So it's like if you even tell me like well, you shouldn't smile. I mean, just be true to your feelings. And I'm like, I am. I didn't get them, did I? I'm telling you, if like you sisters, listen here. God spoke of wars, talk about wars. It's been people that have had to do what they had to do. Let's not forget God. He's the loving God, but let's not bring the war. So if I'm smiling and laughing, and you're like, "But Keisha, they called you a bitch. They try to embarrass you," and I'm smiling like it's not funny. Like yes, it is. They good, ain't they? They are drinking a Pepsi right now, aren't they? Please, I'm not the one. So I just always maintain a joy and peace that I give myself because peace comes from within. I mean, God gives it to me, but it comes from within. It's not a cliche. It's not, something to say you can't love other people until you love yourself, but you're really not doing the work to do it. So as you all see, I'm out in the tip, but this is where I come sometimes. This is where I tell my daughter to come. Just sit and chill. No electronics. Just listen to the birds. Look at the sun. Bring a snack out here. Drink some juice. Paint your nails. Do something. Like you have to take care of yourself because when you get irritated, it spills over to other people. Then you irritating them. Then it's like a forest fire. Everybody's irritated. But what? When you can just sit down. Sometimes if I'm real frustrated for real, I'll just get silent. I'll take a nap and start over. That's my way to recharge. Like give me 20 minutes. Or I just have to close my eyes in that moment. Like just give me a minute to pull it in because I mean, good example. My friend I go to the kitchen cook something. I was in the tent. I'm in the kitchen smoky. Why on seven? You let on the table go on seven. Never. Oh, mommy, I'm sorry. I said, think I'm in here. Opening the balcony door. They're still cooking food. I just got silent. I mean, they got scared. They're like, oh my goodness, because my daughter is different household, so she was waiting for it to come. She was like, like she's about to just lift this up. I was like, I stood by the door, I cut the fan on. I was like, I mean, I was quiet. I never. And then later, once I calmed down, I said, I was really upset. And Serenity, you know better. Like, you should have taken charge. Like, this is your home. Why would you allow her to have the burn on my goddaughter? So, you have to do that for yourself. You have to have peace. I'm telling you.
Self care.
He didn't. So, don't think I came from a household that was like that. My dad loved me, loved God. But he didn't know how to deal and communicate his feelings because his dad was born in 1895. He just whoop you or whatever. Like, he ain't have a whole bunch to say to kids. So my dad would say, Lakisha, oh, that's daddy. Like, like, you calling me from one room to the next, like, woo, hold up. Well, why didn't you, I asked you to do this, why didn't you? So sometimes he will be frustrated because rightfully so, I did not listen. I did not do what he told me to do. But the way he responded to what I did not do was the issue.
Which is a good segue into, I hate to cut you off, but it's a good segue into the type of communication that we have. Like, and from your answer, um, it seems like you do believe that it's important to maintain communication with your child on a daily basis. Because I'm not just talking about in general, I'm talking about every day having a set time to communicate with your child, with your undivided attention, having that individualized time. And it's a lot. Hello, trust me. There's six of them in my house, and not only do I have to communicate with the children, I have to find time to communicate with my husband, and even give the dog and the cat and some turtles their time. And I only do that to let them eat, but that's it. But you have to be able um, to find that time to do it. And these are things that I believe God wants us to do. Relationship and communication is so important to him. And so if we are obedient to make sure that it happens, then he will provide the time and the energy for it to happen. Because I stay tired. I smile all no, I don't smile all the time, but I stay tired. I'm tired now. I'm tired when I was tired when I first came on and said, "Hey, what's going on, Facebook fam? It's your girl." Like, I was tired. So I believe that when we are obedient to God's will, that He will provide the opportunity, the time that we need, and the energy in which to do it. And our time is not His time. So 5 minutes for us, we may think, it's just not enough time in the day, and He's like, that's the perfect timing. That's the perfect timing. And so being obedient to the spirit, just making sure that you do that on a daily basis, which the same communication that we should be offering to our children, which is crazy because it shows us the mirror of what should be happening with us and our creator. Because here we have children who actually yearn for that opportunity, of their parents saying, hey, what's on your mind? Here they are yearning. And here on our end, God is yearning as the parent to get the child to be like, hey, let's talk. Let's talk. You have some time. Let's talk. And so the same thing, we can learn a lot from just being in the middle, looking at our children who actually want that interaction. When you see them on their phones and on electronics, it's because they have been pushed to be in that space because there's nothing else there. I guarantee you, if we gave the time and attention to insert ourselves, our attention, then that electronic will become less important. They would be yearning for the opportunity to, Mommy, are we going outside to sit in the yard today? They'll be asking that. And so on the other end, the flip side is you see your parent, your creator, God the Father saying, hey, I just want to talk to you. I just want to know how you're doing today. That teaches us how to be that aggressor in a situation, saying, hey, let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. And just talk. There are many times where in this pandemic, let me tell you guys, the Castro children have gone nowhere in public, and unless they're protected by that beam of a Suburban where they don't get out. So
I know that's right.
There are times where I literally, Johnny and I will put them in a truck and we just drive. We ain't taking them nowhere to drop them off or nothing, but we just drive and get them out the house just to have the opportunity to talk. There's times when I have to run up to the ATM, or I have to run into a smaller store and pick up something, and I'll grab one of them, put them in the car with me. Now they gotta stay in the car, but that just that short ride to the store, time. communication, and they love it to the point where they all fighting to see who get to go, you know. And so that's something that we need to, it's a exercise, which means that you have to work at it. An exercise is not always going to be easy.
Right.
Sometimes you are going to be tired after sitting in front of a computer for your work all day, and then having to, give your attention, and you can't lay right down and close your eyes. You got to look at this little face looking at you and find the energy from somewhere to have the communication. But it takes exercise. And when you exercise that muscle on a consistent, which is the key word, consistent basis, it becomes easier. It's like clockwork. It's like second nature. It's like just a part of you. Where before you know it, it just happens. So that's my thoughts on it. What about you, Mama? I'm sorry. I was taking on the time.
Oh no, no sorries, no. I'm
You're right.
listening. I was kind of thrown there when you said put them in the trunk. I thought you said put them in the trunk,
The
but you
trunk.
were saying in the
Did I say trunk, Lord Jesus? The trunk.
no.
I know I said
You said
trunk.
truck. I
I'm
had
talking
to,
about my ghettoism.
take one of my earpieces, But it is almost Friday. Keisha, you'll find out if you don't already about Friday.
You throwing
But
shade
anyway,
already. I said trunk.
any
Truck.
anything worth having is worth working for. If you don't put in the work, don't expect to get anything fruitful. Um, and with our children, our babies, it's so important to put in the work. Um, Two things too, going flip, rewinding back to something we were saying in terms of looking for those those signals where children, are suppressing something, suppressing thoughts, and speaking from my own experience, we have to stay in constant communication with our babies, with our children, even through teenagerism, particularly teenagerism. That's another, we hear about the, childhood abuse, when kids are younger, and as in Keisha's case, she was 5 years old, 5 years young, but fast, going looking forward at teenagers, and that is an area that is so crucial because you get several things going, several things are happening there. The young ladies are coming into themselves, blossoming, developing, maturing physically, and the boys, of course, that testosterone is kind of like, bobsy wobsy. So we have to really, particularly as they're approaching those teenager years, be on the lookout for signals because it's that time where children tend to rely on their peers for advice and to chit chat about certain things that are happening. I know, and even as I reflect back on my teenager, where I was always mature, both physically and mentally, we have to look out and be keep our antenna up in those during those times as well, because now before we let's say pre-pandemic and the kids were in school and in schoolhouse, teachers are becoming or coming to us, I'll say younger minded. Um, and you have a lot of situations where, and you've heard of a lot of situations where teachers have been cited for abusing students in terms of, and it's abuse when you manipulate a teenager or a child's mind to think, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, and approaching our kids in that way, gradually, approaching them, particularly the young ladies and sometimes the men, the boys, um, to get into conversations with them that they really should not be having. So we have to. It's even more important to have those conversations. I had in middle school. I think it was the industrial arts teachers who always had a yardstick, and yeah, I think back now of the times you walking down the hallway and you feel a tap on your butt and you think it's one of your peers or whatever, and you still, ready to fight, turn around and you realize it's one of the younger teachers with a yardstick. You know what I'm saying? So there are all kinds of things, even as a teacher and being in and out of the schools, seeing some things. I've addressed them. When I'm saying I pull them to the side, I go to them individually and say, hey, you know what? Between me and you, I'm sure it was an accident. I'm sure it was just an impulsive thing you did, but I didn't like it when you know, either touched a female student, if it was a male teacher, and same thing with females. Females now,
Yeah.
the dynamics now of teachers is a lot different from when we were in school, when I was in school, even when I first started teaching. The dynamics of the teachers is so much different. So we have to be especially vigilant. We have to be especially vigilant and communicative with our children. Talk to them constantly.
Hmm.
Don't leave room for them to have to go to their peers or their girlfriends or their boyfriends or whomever. I'm telling you, there's a lot more than meets the eye. I used to tell my parents, don't take my word. Just pop in, pay a little visit. Talk to your teachers, get acquainted with the teachers, get acquainted with their peers, you know? And it's so important. Back in the day, that's what parents did. You know what I'm saying? If you did something and your neighbor saw it, you were in just as much trouble as if your parent had seen it, because it was that kind of communication. So we have got to get back to that. And you said something too, and I'm going to sit down after this, but you said something about taking time, taking that time. God has given us time. What do you think during this pandemic season? He's given us nothing but time
Yeah.
to get back in touch with our families, with the kids, with our husbands, with our wives. He's given us time,
Get
and
at Mr.
use
Castro.
it. I I encourage, really seriously. I encourage, and you know what? Don't take it the time, this extra time, like some of us treat extra money. You know, like when you get a bonus, you may get a little sum of $1,200. Oops, did I say $1,200? When you get a little check for $1,200 and you say, oh, I got some extra. And what are you going to do? You're going to run out and buy something that you really don't even have to have, versus putting it in a college fund, putting it somewhere for a rainy day. Okay, so with us having this extra time, don't take that extra time and say, "Oh, I can go hang out with the boys." Not that you don't deserve, and you can that's okay, but also family first. Consider the fact that you committed yourself to this relationship.
Mhm.
I guess you committed yourself to having a family. So put in the time, put in the
Mm.
work. I'm gonna leave that.
So I want to dang, we always get like all deep into it and then look up and boom, it'd be like time to go. Like we need the show to be like 3 hours, nah, not 3 hours. Cause if it
It's
was
that
3 hours, I would make it full. Like so, yeah. Nah. Um, but again, like certainly spending the second day with you, sis, like it's been awesome. Like
We can
I
just
thank
make it
you.
a, conclude it with three. Make it like a trio. Just the last follow up final, because we still ain't get all the way in the meat of things. So
well. We need a part three.
We do. That's what you were saying. We do. Look,
We
y'all
need
be
a
talking
part
about
three.
this until the Lord come back. Leave it up to y'all. Leave it up to Keisha. We still be talking about this.
The story is long, and I want to hear it,
Look,
and I'm sure you guys
I need
want to
a
hear it too.
reason for them to go get the book. You know what I
okay,
mean?
Yes,
okay, yes,
Both of them,
okay,
yours
okay.
and Mama Lou's.
yeah,
We
okay.
gotta leave something for them to be
I
like,
don't
yo,
know
I
if
gotta
y'all
read her
ready for
book, man.
mine.
Like she was talking about this part. Yeah.
I don't know if you're ready for mine.
I don't know. I don't know if you ready for yours.
I don't know if I'm ready for it. You're right.
Wow,
I
I'm
agree.
ready. I'm ready.
Man,
Yeah,
it's always awesome to just hang out and have candy
it is.
with family though. I appreciate you coming again, and yes, we do need a part three, and yes, we do want people to be drawn to go get your book and read about the
Thank
story in
you.
more detail. So I
Yeah.
forgot to bring my book in here this morning. I thought I had left it in here, but I think I took it back in the bedroom to to read up on some stuff again. But definitely check her out. If you want to give them where they can find you on social media, let the people know where they can find you, where they can obtain your book. Your deliverance is coming. Um,
Yes, so I'm liking the post right now, and that's my Facebook, um, my book cover, my Facebook page, and Instagram. But it's Lakisha Davis Small on Instagram and social media. So it's all one word: LakishaDavisSmall on Instagram and Facebook. And, my email address, if you have any questions personally, like, or if you need mentoring, coaching, whatever the case may be, whatever labels we want to call it, I'm here for the people, right? I'm a disciple. I'm just here doing God's work. So if you need me, send me an email. And that's Lakeisha Davis Small at gmail.com. Just for life. I'm versed in a lot of things. So reach out to me. And again, my book is on Amazon.com. Please get a copy. It's supporting my daughter. She wants to be a defense attorney. So anytime someone buys a book, it goes to her account. I don't even have a PNC account, honey. And so it goes over there. And I want her to be everything that she can be. The sky's the limit. I want all children to be, and adults. Come on, the sky's the limit. If you have breath in your body, you have an opportunity to do anything. Because once you meet the sky, you can't do it no more. So while you here, do it. Just do it. My saying is like Nike. I like that slogan. Just do it. Whether you
Mon, didn't
win
you
or
say that
fail,
the other
whatever,
week?
you can say you did it. You did it. You
Just
tried it.
do it.
You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So do it. So
I
yeah.
totally agree with that.
See, y'all heard
Yes.
it here. Mon, you got any last words? While she's smiling.
I love you guys. I love you with the love of the Lord. This has been wonderful. I love you. You are so awesome, Keisha. It's so
Thank
good to have you as a bonus daughter, and just to see you and La uh, just working together in so many ways. I thank God for you. I don't take it lightly, and I thank God for our listening. I was about to say our radio audience. I thank God
Speak
for our
it.
listening audience. I just look this way. I'm not crazy. And, I love life. I love people. I love children. I love everybody. So just keep hope alive. We're getting closer to the November 3rd. Vote if you haven't already. Vote.
Yes, absolutely. And so as we wrap this segment up today, I do want to quick announcements. I know I posted it on my page. I want to repost it today. However, I want you guys to come in and support my babies. Two of them will actually be performing with as a part of the National Center for Children and Families, and they have a special performance on tomorrow, hosted by Marcus Johnson, the jazz musician, who is an awesome person that we had an opportunity to host in our home during the taping and the recording of their performance. And so I want you guys to there is no charge for it. It is a virtual concert. You do have to register, and it's just a matter of putting your name and your email so they can say, hey, this is what the National Children Center for Children and Family is doing. And so I will post the link on my page again with their picture. You'll see their picture, they'll be in blue. Click on that link so that you can be a part of that awesome experience that is going to happen tomorrow at 8 o'clock. There are several young people who will be sharing their gift and talent, and they are all amazing in their own right. And so come and hang out with us tomorrow at 8. Tonight, He said Marcus Johnson Esquire. Tonight I will actually be doing a radio interview as the artist Lahla-Hadiya. I kind of have stepped back a little bit on that and been focused on the show and my children and several other things, the management side. But tonight I will be putting back on the cape of the artist Lahla-Hadiya, and I will be interviewing with a UK radio station. So I want you guys to be a part of that. That will be tonight at 8 o'clock. Tonight, I'll put that information up for you so that you can come and hang out with me so I don't feel alone. I don't know them people over there. So it'd be nice to have some of my folks in there with me. So come definitely check me out. And tomorrow is Friday Fun Day. So I don't know what tricks my mama got in the bag. She always throwing shade on me on Friday. Look at her face. I don't trust her. I don't trust it. But tomorrow's Friday Fun Day. We've gotten away from bringing people on because y'all be scared. But the opportunity is always open. If you have some jewels of wisdom, and you're not afraid to show your 7:30 in the morning self, definitely come join us. We'll bring you on for a hot moment to kind of say something to the people so that the morning tea with mommy family can get acquainted and see what each other look like and all that good stuff. Because we family. That's all I got for y'all. That's all I got. This show was amazing as always. A lot of stuff that we haven't even uncovered. So many questions I didn't even get to because questions that were answered spiraled into other questions and other information. So definitely cop the book. Your deliverance is coming. Let me see those hearts and those thumbs up for our special guest, author Lakisha Davis Smalls. She's amazing. No, we're not the same people. That is her and this is me. We are not the same people. I know it looks strange, but that's somebody different. So thank you guys for joining in. I can't wait to see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 7:30. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to walk in purpose and not just on purpose. Walk in your purpose and be strategic about your timing because God has given us timing and he's given us opportunity to manage our time. We just have to manage it wisely. But he's given us the time and space to do what it is that needs to be done. So stop saying we don't have enough time in the day. Talking to myself, God has given you all the time that is necessary to get what needs to be done. So let's work it out. All right, until tomorrow. Love you, Keys. Love you, Mom. Both of you. Love you, everybody. I love you. Mama Lou loves you. I know
Love you,
you
love
love.
you, love you.
Most
You're
importantly, God loves
awesome.
us all. Until next time.